Joining us now is Chuck Ulfers, the marketing manager for the printer division at Hewlett-Packard. Chuck, we were just looking at one new printer technology, thermal transfer. This is another new printer technology, laser printers. What goes on inside a laser printer?
Well, actually, Stuart, the technology of a laser printer is very similar to the technology that's used in a photocopy machine. The image is actually transferred to a photoconductive drum using a laser. The drum's then rotated past a station that applies a powdered plastic or a toner. That toner is then transferred to the paper and actually melted or fused into the paper.
Chuck, can you get the printer running here and just answer a couple of questions about things like speed, the cost of the machine, the cost of operation, things like that, so we can compare it with the other printers?
Sure. The LaserJet is an 8-page per minute device. It sells for $29.95. It prints in either direction on the page. It has the ability to put a number of different fonts on a single page. And
what about the cost of, let's say, per page copy?
The per page cost is somewhere between 5 and 7 cents.
Okay. Now this particular page right here has, I notice, looks just very much like a typeset page. That seems to be one of the big advantages of the laser printer over some of the others.
That's correct. Laser printers today have a very high resolution, typically about 300 dots per inch, and that gives us the ability to do very nice artwork and graphics. The print that you see here actually has a number of different sizes of font. It has a graphic, it has proportionally spaced text. That's one of the strong capabilities that the product has brought into the office marketplace. One of the other abilities that it has is the ability to do a form. This one's a very popular one, the 1040 form, which is certainly attractive in the accounting marketplace. We also have the ability to do graphics with this sort of a product.
Chuck, I've heard the name of the Canon engine quoted in the context of laser printers. What does Canon have to do with this whole development?
Well, as I said earlier, the technology is based on the same technology as photocopy machines, and so you will find that in most cases the photocopy companies are the ones that have a early presence in the marketplace. Canon has been particularly successful in that a number of machines in the marketplace today are currently based on their technology.
Does this use the Canon engine then?
This product uses the Canon engine, that's correct.
What would some of the other typical laser printers do?
Some of the other products that you may be familiar with, the Apple LaserWriter uses the Canon engine, the QMS printer is based on the Canon engine, and there are a number of others in the marketplace.
Chuck, why would people want to spend the $3,000, say, to buy a laser printer? What are the main features that the user would look for in buying something like this?
Well, interestingly enough, our studies show that the primary reason that people buy a product like this one is because it's very quiet, it has a very high quality output, and it's very fast. We expect that over time the market will evolve to a more sophisticated appreciation of the graphics capabilities of these products, but certainly in the office, those are the reasons why people buy them.
Now, are we going to see a smaller version of this thing for, say, home computers, personal computers, and less cost?
I'm sure you will see the technology continue to evolve downward, both in cost and in size.
And what time frame would that be?
I would expect to see that continue to move down continuously. We actually, this is a second generation of this product. It's less than 18 months old, so I think it'll move rather rapidly.
You know, already now, obviously with output like this, the laser... We're going to move along and take a look now at HP's LaserJet 2 in just a minute, so stay with us. Joining us in the studio now is Steve Simpson, Group Marketing Manager with Hewlett-Packard, and next to Steve is John Dickinson, Director of PC Labs at PC Magazine, where they've just reviewed 36 laser printers. Gary?
Steve, I understand there are only a few manufacturers that actually build the insides of this thing, the engine. Ricoh, Canon, I guess several others. Now, the last printer we saw, the Apple LaserWriter, has a Canon engine, and I understand this has a Canon engine also. Are we just buying something repackaged?
No, we're not. What has happened, we, like Apple, were both using what was known as the Canon CX print engine in our previous products, which were the initial LaserJet products. And we in Canon learned a lot from those products, and this is what we would consider to be a second-generation print engine. This is based on the SX print engine. Canon and we went to a lot of trouble to make some changes and make some improvements over its predecessor. A couple things being, for example, correct order output in printing as opposed to reverse collation, and a much darker print capability than its predecessors.
Steve, what other things did you learn from the first LaserJet printer, and how is the LaserJet Plus better, or Series 2 better?
I think the thing we learned, number one, was that we needed to make the products as easy to use as possible. And we've done that a couple of ways. First of all, we really focused very heavily on providing software support by working very closely with ISVs. So we have about 600 ISVs who support these products. But the other thing we had to do is we had to make the products very easy to set up, configure, and use, even if your software package didn't support it particularly well. So we did a lot of effort in the front panel, for example. Now you can do all your configuration, even choosing which interface you use, etc., from the front panel. No more dip switches, because those are a problem. Selection of which fonts I may want to print in. If my software package doesn't do that, I can do from the front panel. That was really, I think, the key emphasis, is make the products very easy to use and continually improve the functionality and print quality.
Steve, where do you see the use of the laser printer in your business? I mean, your customers, what do they look, what kind of a mix do you have?
Well, we find that about 85% of our products are connected to MS-DOS, PC-DOS-based systems. So they're being used primarily in office environments, a very large pool of people, as we know. So we find that they're typically being used for office applications, which are typically word processing, spreadsheet applications, and those types of things. Though 10% of them, according to our users, are being used for desktop publishing through packages such as Aldus PageMaker or Ventura Publisher. But the primary emphasis is office application use.
John, would it be fair to say then, say the Apple LaserWriter we saw before is really more geared at the desktop publishing situation on a Mac, as opposed to the LaserJet, which is sort of being used more likely as just a business printer?
Well, just a business printer says a lot. I mean, the LaserJet is one standard, which has become very, very important, but out of the 36 printers that we tested here, many of them had several emulations in them, including HP LaserJet. 27 had HP LaserJet. 22 of them emulate the standard Diablos 630 Daisy Wheel printer. And again, it's for the office automation market, for the word processing, the spreadsheet, the database. The big thing is that there's a lot of competition out there to get that market, because those people are looking for high-speed, quiet printers that don't disrupt the office environment.
John, you mentioned standards. What kind of standards are there in terms of hardware and software? I mean, we go out and buy these things. Can you be safe in buying certain kinds of interfaces?
Yeah, just about anything. Any laser printer out there right now will work with a PC, and many of them will work also with a Macintosh as well, because quite a few also emulate the PostScript language that the Apple Macintosh wants, and some of the PC-based desktop publishing systems also are looking for that. They also support this. So there's a couple of different standards that you can be getting, but it's almost certain that if your dealer tells you it'll hook up to the computer that you've got and the word processing or whatever it is that you've got, it'll do it.
Steve, could you sort of have something come out of the laser printer just so we can be convinced it actually works here?
Yes, what I've done is I've just sent a command to Microsoft Word to provide us an output, and we note that we're receiving data in the printer. You can see that by the flashing green light. Well, in fact, it's printing right now, and this is a relatively simple document, but it's typical of what many users are doing in office automation. And it's because we'll see multiple fonts, which before we were never able to do, and you know, relatively straightforward output.
Very clean, very nice.
On the other hand, of course, we have users who do want to do desktop publishing types of applications, as this print sample shows, or they may want to do some type of documentation, as this one shows. But again, as I mentioned, we find a very large number of our users are really focused on the office applications, but they want to make their document look better than the next guy down the block from them.
John, there's a big difference in
The new printer's major features are speed, print quality, and flexibility. The engine produces 16 pages per minute. The printer's instant-on fuser provides a faster printer warm-up and a quicker time to first page out. When not printing, the instant-on fuser consumes no power. The printer's formatter has 100 MB, 500 DPI, 5 enhanced, and HP's PostScript Level 2 emulation drivers are shipped with the 4000 series printers. Print quality is good at 300 DPI and outstanding at 600 DPI, Fast Res 1200, and ProRes 1200 print resolutions. Fast Res 1200 works with HP's resolution enhancement technology to provide 1200 DPI quality printing at the full engine speed of 16 pages per minute. HP's Fast Res 1200 print technology manipulates image processing data to simulate
features with the M600 series. So what I want to do now is give you a quick walk around of the M600 series. So we have here the 500 sheet paper tray, which has tremendous fit and finish, slides out easily. We also have the toner, which ships in the device. It's a 10K toner, which easily comes in and goes out. On the back, you see the duplexer. This device with the M6 capable. We take a USB with some PDF files or PowerPoint files. We plug it into the device. As the device reads the USB, we select OK. We pick what we'd like. We have right here PQ in a box. I'm going to pick it. We also have a number of things here. What I'm going to choose is the IPG trifold naming guide. We select it. It says, wait, I need to make some copies. Say you have 4 customers with you. You can select 4. We print. And we're off and printing. What you also notice is how quiet the product is. This is 2 decibels quieter than its predecessor, the P4000 class. And you can see the prints just flying out the door.